A day after the big Ayodhya moment, the big Mandir moment, a day on which the BJP scored and asserted its political domination, it is Himanta Biswa Sarma versus Rahul Gandhi in Assam. I'm Barkha Dutt, you're with the Mojo story. In case you were wondering where Rahul Gandhi was on the day of the Ram Mandir pran pratishtha, well, Mr. Gandhi was taking out his Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra in Assam, where he has been lashing out at the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, who's also been hitting back. Today, there were clashes on the streets on the outskirts of Guwahati as Congress supporters clashed with police that had barricaded their entry into Guwahati city. Mr. Gandhi, who has been lashing out at Himanta Biswa Sarma, calling him the most corrupt chief minister, and Mr. Sarma has been hitting back saying Mr. Gandhi is a leader who's out on bail for corruption. These are the headlines out of Assam today. In the context of larger politics, one has to ask what the Congress play here is. There are now just a few more months to go for elections. The unprecedented sentiment that was visible in Ayodhya, coupled with the images that are coming out of Assam, at a time when it is not clear that the India alliance has taken a united ideological stand on the Ayodhya issue, raise all manners of political questions looking ahead at 2024. Looking at the big Himanta versus Rahul Gandhi fight, let's introduce our panelists on the program today as we look at the political ramifications of what's unfolding in Assam, but also on national politics the morning after the Mandir. Joining us is Sandeep Ghosh, who's, of course, a public affairs commentator, often supportive of the government, but not always. I think often, not always is the way to describe Mr. Ghosh's politics. Also joining us is a senior leader associated with the BJP, the Secretary of CKS, Vineet Goenka. Namaskar, Vineetji, always a pleasure. Joining us is suspended Congress spokesperson, a supporter of his party, but with some caveats sometimes, Sanjay Jha. Welcome to the program, Sanjay. Always a pleasure. And also joining us is one of India's finest political journalists and prolific author, Rashid Kidwai. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. Himanta Biswa Sarma says that Naxalite activities of the Congress, quote unquote, will not be tolerated. He's directed Assam's top cop to actually file a case against Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi has dared him back with the Babbar Sher reference. Before I open this up for conversation, let's listen in first to Rahul Gandhi as the Yatra was stopped from entering Guwahati city. The Assam government said this is a sensitive route and the Yatra was free to take the bypass instead of the city. Listen in to Mr. Gandhi's response.
इसी रास्ते से बजरंग दल की रैली निकली, इसी रास्ते से नड्डा जी की रैली निकली, मगर कांग्रेस पार्टी की पदयात्रा को यहां पे ये लोग रोक रहे हैं। अब देखिए, यहां पे बैरिकेड था नहीं था, उड़ा के फेंक दिया हमने बैरिकेड को तोड़ के फेंक दिया, मगर हम कानून को नहीं तोड़ेंगे। असम के चीफ मिनिस्टर तोड़ सकते हैं, होम मिनिस्टर तोड़ सकते हैं, प्रधानमंत्री तोड़ सकते हैं, मगर कांग्रेस पार्टी का कार्यकर्ता कानून को नहीं तोड़ेगा। मगर आप ये मत सोचिए कि हम कमजोर हैं क्योंकि हमने आपका बैरिकेड उधर देख फेंक दिया हमने, और ये कांग्रेस कार्यकर्ता की शक्ति है। आप लोग बब्बर शेर हो, आप लोग बब्बर शेर हो, अपनी शक्ति को पहचानो।
Okay, let me start. In fact, with Sanjay Jha. Is this a fight that the Congress can afford when we look at what's happened in the last 24 hours, the outpouring of sentiment, but also the Prime Minister's assertion of control, a speech that has even been acknowledged by many of his critics as one of his finest, most powerful, most impactful ever. Should the Congress be spending its energies on whether it can or can't enter Guwahati city? Should this be where Mr. Gandhi should have been on the day of Ayodhya? Sanjay Jha.
Barkha, good afternoon. First and foremost, I don't think this is about Rahul Gandhi versus Himanta Biswa Sarma. I think this is about the Congress party in the opposition and the ideology of a secular, tolerant, liberal country against an authoritarian and a majoritarianism driven government. Himanta is just one part of the structure, but this is against the what I call as the autocratic government of Narendra Modi at the center. And the fundamental point of difference is that look at Rahul Gandhi here, and I compare him to Narendra Modi. In Manipur, where the Yatra, frankly speaking, began, you look at the fact that after several months, almost 8 months, you had a civil war. I mean, there is still violence going on there. I mean, innocent people have died. Over 150 Indians are dead in that extremely unfortunate ethnic conflict. Over 50,000 displaced from the reports I read. Narendra Modi is India's prime minister. He hasn't even gone there, not even once. I think the home minister went there in after a couple of weeks, maybe. And Rahul Gandhi is not just making his first; he's making, I think, a great symbolic statement of the way India ought to be. I understand there was a lot of euphoria and excitement over the pran pratishtha yesterday. Understandable. But do we realize that India is a big country, a diverse country? It's a country with many issues and challenges. And I do believe that Rahul Gandhi still scares Mr. Modi and the BJP because, truth be said, Barkha, and we will get into it, I think, further in the conversation. At the ground level, there is enough reason to believe that it's all those who are calling out 2024 because of Pran Pratishtha and the BJP trying to give it a political color, they might be very presumptuous. I want to
Can
make
I
two
ask you
points. I
something?
want to make two
Can I
points.
ask? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to make
No,
two quick points.
I was just going to
Number
ask
one.
you. You made this. Okay, you make one point, and then I'll ask you a question. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll make the first point. If you
Okay.
look at the truth of India, which is that today, let's address the Pran Pratishtha first. I'll discuss the economics when you ask me your question. The president of India is not there. We are calling it a religious event, right? You want to know why it is a political one? Because I believe India's head of state, the commander in chief, the president of India should have been there yesterday, is not there. The four Shankaracharyas, I'm a Hindu. I think every Hindu in this country will probably believe that much more than the UP chief minister or the governor of Uttar Pradesh or the head of the RSS or the prime minister of India. I believe the Shankaracharyas really represent my great religion of Hinduism,
Okay. Okay.
conspicuous by their absence. And if Mohan Bhagwat is there, whose entire organization has repeatedly talked of Hindu Rashtra, present there at the consecration ceremony, it's pretty apparent that this is a political project for the BJP, a
Can I
secret
ask you
event.
a question now? Can I ask you a question now? And then I need to go to the others. You said that Himanta is just one part of the Congress's larger ideological battle. How is the ideology of the Congress and indeed of the opposition alliance different when I think of the fact that Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister, a Congress Chief Minister, declared not to be outdone by the central government, not a half day, but a full day off for all government employees to be able to imbibe the energy of the Pran Pratishtha. The Mr. Kejriwal, your alliance partner, led Hanuman parts across the national capital. Uddhav Thackeray reminded everybody that in his personal capacity, he contributed 1 crore when he was still Maharashtra Chief Minister to the Mandir Trust. In Udayniधि's talent, chalo, wo to alag hi baat hai, pulling you all in the completely opposite direction. So I'm afraid, Sanjay, that while you make what Rahul Gandhi is doing about ideology, Mr. Gandhi too sought to offer prayers at a mandir yesterday. He was stopped in Assam. You are quoting the Shankaracharyas. You can't quote the Shankaracharyas and then invoke Nehruvian secularism. Isn't this rather muddled? And briefly, because I really need to open up your comments to take it to the others. Go ahead.
Well, Barkha, you have asked a fundamental question. Let me answer you.
Yes.
By the way, let me tell you, I have a temple in my home. I'm a practicing Hindu. I don't need, and all of us, I think practically everybody in this country, neither the Himachal Chief Minister, Priyanka Gandhi, Mr. Kharge, Rahul Gandhi, nobody, and all your viewers, nobody needs a certificate of whether they're a good Hindu, bad Hindu, average Hindu from the BJP or the RSS or the VHP. Look at their track record in communal riots. Are these the people who are going to tell us what Sanatan Dharma is? I mean, let's understand that very clearly. And I think the Congress has taken a pretty, I would say, strong ideological stance. They are saying pran pratishtha has to be celebrated. Barkha, let me
Mhm.
remind you, the Congress had the Ram Temple in its 1991 election manifesto, and they were very
Exactly.
clear. And no, no,
Exactly.
one minute,
So, how are you
one minute.
ideologically? So, today your
No,
resistance seems to be the fact that the BJP actually sustained it as a political issue and not the
no,
Congress.
no, not really. The Congress said that you should build the Ram temple. Yes, we have to believe in the faith that we have, the Astha as we call it, but not at the cost of destroying the Babri Masjid, which is exactly what the BJP did. And you and I both know India has never been the same again. In short, a short answer to you, the Congress party and all the opposition parties are very clear that the BJP, and this is a tragedy of modern India, is conflating state with religion, giving it a
Okay.
political complexion only before the elections of
Okay. Let's.
2024. An incomplete temple is being consecrated. This is something that the Shankaracharyas have talked about. I think the world
Okay.
can see that.
Okay, you've said a lot. Let me bring in Vineet Goenka in. Vineet Goenka, here's the problem, in my opinion, with what is happening in Assam and what was happening in Tamil Nadu. When Tamil Nadu tried to stop public meetings, celebrations of the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha, the Supreme Court no less said this is atrocious. Are you trying to stop the live stream of this? Now, what is wrong in Tamil Nadu should also be wrong in Assam. Why is the Bharat Jodo Yatra not allowed to go through Guwahati city? It's been called a sensitive route. The Congress is making the point that other yatras have come through this route. I can even understand that on the day of the Ayodhya Mandir moment, it is considered a sensitive day. A law and order, no law and order issue should be allowed to happen. What is the problem? What do you make of what's going on in Assam, Vinitji?
Barkha, Ram Ram to you, Ram Ram to all my co-panelists and all the viewers who are watching this program. And also, my congratulations to every Sanatani who has addressed and seen yesterday's big event. See, law and order is a state issue. The chief minister of any state works on the advices of the intelligence bureau and also the police, law enforcement agencies. If they feel it is not good to take out a yatra, I'm sure the chief minister, on the advice of the bureaucrats and the law enforcement agency, takes this kind of calls, and we should respect that. It's not that one particular day or one particular event will impact the situation there. There are many inputs which we may not have that privy to. Maybe you and I may not have a privy to that information. So we should respect that. If the chief minister has suggested go by an alternate route, I think Rahul Gandhi should have obliged. A. B. Now to answer Sanjay Jha's allegations and his remarks. He's my senior. I've been watching him since my childhood in all the programs. I've learned a lot from him. But many times I differ with him, and today also I differ with him. See, Congress has not advised Rahul Gandhi appropriately. He is a confused dynast. Why do I say that he is a confused dynast? He is not aware what he wants to do. He comes and tells us sometimes that he is a Janivdhari. Now I fail to understand, Barkha, with due respect. How can Firoz Bhai's grandson, an Italian grandfather's grandson, on both the sides, be a Sanatani? And why do he have to mock us? Why does he have to camouflage us? We all respect everybody. Yes, we saw that, in India has given people with different religion the senior most positions, be it the President of India, be it the Chief Justice. So why does he have to mock and camouflage that he's a Sanatani? A. B. Also let people
But
know.
why can't he be a Sanatani? He's by self-professed description a Shiva worshipper, Shaivite. Why can't he be one, according to you?
Yeah, he can. If he's so, I welcome that, and I'll be very happy if Firoz Bhai's grandson, an Italian grandfather's grandson from both the side, he practices Sanatan. I'll be more than happy, and I will be really looking forward for that particular part. But he does this genuinely. A. B. Sanjay Bhai, Congress's record is not very good on both the count. One, dismantling of the state governments without respecting them has been seen in the last 70 years. More than 100 times Congress has done that. So one, you have to explain that why do they don't respect the state governments. And yesterday, today when I saw Rahul Gandhi, he was disrespecting the state government of Assam, which is duly elected. He also disrespecting his own old comrade. Himanta Biswa Sarma was his confidant till this time. So whatever Himanta Biswa Sarma would have done, I'm sure he would have taken into consideration his association with Rahul Gandhi in the later years, the last years. Number 4, for the viewers' interest, let me tell, Congress was never with any religion. Rather, it was only was itself. In 1947, it did anything and everything which hurt the Hindu sentiments. thousands and lakhs of Hindus were killed, butchered on both the sides of the country in the partition. Then in 1984, we saw that Sikhs were laid down, they were insulted, they were humiliated, they were massacred. And then in 1988, Tamils were insulted. There was a differentiation created between.
So what is your larger point, that the Congress is not entitled to speak on religion, according to you?
They always have used religion, caste. They have tried to divide us whenever and the way they wanted. 47, they divided us between Hindu and Muslim because it suited them. In 84, it was Sikh versus non-Sikhs. Then it was Tamil versus other people.
Okay. Sanjay Jha has a brief interjection. One line. I have to go to Sandeep Ghosh. Sorry, Vinitji. One line to Sanjay Jha. One line. Yes.
Yeah. I think Vinit's argument is rather absurd and atrocious, and I will give you only one comment on that. I mean, Vinit, for God's sake, never disrespect your viewer. The Congress party has governed for 55 of the 70 odd years since 1947. Number two, it has won 10 of the 17 general elections. You think it has won it only on minority votes? Please don't insult the voters since 1947, man. Have some decency here. No political party. And Barkha, let me tell you this. The minority appeasement that these guys spread, the conspiracy theories they spread, I'll tell you why it's total bogus and nonsense. If there are 100 people in a room and 80 are Hindus and 14 are Muslims and 6 are other communities, you think anybody is crazy enough or going to play minority appeasement for 14 votes and alienate the balance 80? I mean, this is bizarre logic, and I think it's absolute bunkum.
Okay, we'll come to that later. Vinitji, one line. Yeah. One line, Vinitji, to you also, because the other two guests are waiting. Please, one line to Vinitji. Yes.
As I said, I learned a lot from Sanjay Bhai. But today, I failed to understand that he is proposing something which is incorrect. Congress had such a long stint, one, because they were blessed by the colonial master, because they were part of the colonial master. Nehruji did not become Prime Minister the first time in 1947 because he was elected. It was gifted to him. Rather, we all know that somebody else was deserving it. So I don't want to get into that conversation. But it is not that. The last sentence, the second sentence, very important. You killed democracy when you imposed emergency in this country, 2.5 years. So you were not elected, sir.
Vinitji and Sanjay Jha, I must interrupt both of you now because we have other people patiently waiting. Sandeep Ghosh, to try and return, we've gone back to history, gone ahead into the future. Let's try and talk about what's happening today in Assam and what's happened yesterday in Ayodhya. Sandeep, go ahead. What do you make of this very personal? Now, for context, Himanta Biswa was the one who made famous or infamous, depending on your point of view, the story that Mr. Biswa Sarma once went to meet Rahul Gandhi, and Rahul Gandhi wouldn't pay any attention to what he was saying. He kept giving biscuits to his pet dog. That story has become the subject of literally political urban legend now, except that it actually happened. It's a very personal argument that seems to be unfolding between both of them. But what are the larger sort of tea leaves to read in this moment? Sandeep Ghosh.
See, first of all, like every other panelist here, we all have very high regard for Sanjay. So when Sanjay is saying that, people are being presumptuous about BJP's win in 2024, I do absolutely believe him, because he's the one who called the election in 2014 for Congress, again 2019 for Congress, so he'll know exactly what presumptuous
He's an optimist. He has to keep believing. He's an optimist.
What is a presumption or optimism? These are two sides of the same coin. That's a different
Okay.
Now, I also believe, Sanjay, that Rahul Gandhi is waging a much larger ideological battle, and Himanta Biswa Sarma is a small pawn in that. But the question is, will the public, is the public seeing it that way? I, as a wearing what you call my independent hat, you say I occasionally wear it. I will not see it as a larger ideological issue being raised. I would see this as a spat, and if I may say, a rather juvenile spat between an ex-congressman and his ex-boss. So that's first of all. Second, again, Chandra may be having a very strong point about Modi not going to Manipur, the Manipur issue being very major and very significant for the rest of India. But will this incident highlight Manipur or make people already forget that Rahul Gandhi was even there in Manipur?
That's right. That's a very good point. Yeah.
A lot of people will not even remember that he was in Manipur. What people are today talking about, before this, Rahul Gandhi says nobody has tasted Meghalaya pineapples, whereas people have put up the Meghalaya pineapple is easily available in Dubai, where Mr. Rahul Gandhi goes very frequently. So, there is a lot of inconsistency in this. Now, if you were to strictly, he's talking about going by the rule book, they don't break the law. As far as I know, Rashid could be correct. Even if you remove a police barricade or do any kind of that is actually as per law, you are actually hitting or damaging police, so it is technically a violation of law. What was wrong in people telling him that go for the temple visit after 3:30? Instead of that, what are the visuals people are seeing when they're seeing the visuals in Ayodhya of Modi doing? They're seeing Yogendra Yadav. I don't know whether there's a congressman on what is he doing in Bharat Yatra. He's singing Ramdhun, and Rahul Gandhi is sitting there in his jeans looking at the sky. Now, what is the message? Is that an ideological message you're passing that, you believe in the cosmic consciousness and therefore the speech and the singing or worshipping doesn't matter? So we must be all very conscious of what is the, all said and done, Bharat Jodo Yatra or Nyaya Yatra is a photo op journey. It's what we call a Facebook opportunity. But therefore, if you're doing that, I have no problems with that. If that's your strategy, if you think that is what's going to win you the elections, by all means, do it.
I mean, in some ways, it borrows from the Modi playbook, realizing how important the image is. The power of the image cannot be underestimated.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I always keep saying Congress is trying to follow the Modi playbook, but 9 years late. Modi took to Rahul Gandhi was not even on social media when Modi was all over social media. He didn't even have a Twitter account till 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Now they are doing the Twitter, waging the Twitter war, etc. When Modi has moved ahead into some entirely different space. That's a separate point. But if today also that's their strategy, I don't have an issue. But then what is that ultimate net? If I see from a communication standpoint, from a management standpoint, what is the net takeaway you are leaving for your people?
I think you've raised a very good point in saying that the fact that the yatra began in Manipur may have been swallowed by this tutu meme that is unfolding between Himanta and Rahul Gandhi. Now, Rashid, before I come to you, let's play out earlier this week. Himanta Biswa, his wife and children were also criticized by the Congress, by Mr. Gandhi. And this is how the Assam Chief Minister responded in what Sandeep Ghosh says is an increasingly juvenile spat. Take a look.
কংগ্ৰেছে ইমান দিন হিমন্ত বিশ্ব শৰ্মাক ভয় কৰি আছিল এটা মোৰ যে বাচ্চা দুটাকো ভয় কৰে মই প্ৰথম গম পালো সিহঁতিতো ফিউচাৰত ৰাজনীতিত নাহে কিয় ইমান ভয় কৰি আছে মোৰ বাচ্চাকো গালি দি আছে আৰে মোৰ বাচ্চা কি ৰাজনীতিত আহিব নেকি ইমান দিন মই ভাবিছিলো যে হিমন্ত বিশ্ব শৰ্মাক ভয় কৰে এটা মোৰ যে বাচ্চা দুটাকো ভয় কৰে মইতো এইটো গম পোৱা নাছিলো बोले बच्चाई कराप्ट करिছে बाबा इ ल पढि আছে कोर कराप्शन কৰিব সুযোগ পাইছে सर এতিয়া प्रथम দেখিলো যে राहुल गांधी पहले तो मुझसे डरता था अभी मेरा बच्चा से भी डरना शुरू कर दिया
Okay, so he did us the service of translating it in the end, though I got the gist of it. Rashid, what's going on here? Is this a juvenile spat, a personal battle because of the history, as Sandeep says, between an ex-congressman and his ex-boss? Or does the Congress have to step back and take a look that after the Prime Minister's, not just the Mandir moment, I think Nirja Chaudhary said on this program, it isn't just about the Mandir, so that is a big moment in itself. It's also about Modi. If the day belonged to Ram Lalla, it also belonged very much to Narendra Modi. After that, the morning after, this is the argument that is playing out on the streets of Assam, with benefit to whom? And as we talk about this, please, data talks, Sanjay, for all your optimism. Look at how the Congress has been performing in Assam in the last Lok Sabha elections, in the last assembly elections, in the last local elections in Guwahati. We'll bring those numbers up. Rashid, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think Barkha Congress is in a kind of denial because they don't understand what the whole issue is all about. See, the Congress lacks consistency about its stand on Ayodhya. You look at recently Manishankar Iyer, he said it again that Rajiv Gandhi was not in the know when the unlocking of at Babri happened. And this is the same point Mr. Vajat Habibullah has also made in his book on Rajiv Gandhi. On the other hand, the Congress, you gave example of Mr. Sukhu. I saw it in Bhopal. There was a huge hoarding that said कि Rajiv Gandhi ने उस ताला खुलवाया और मंदिर का आकार बना, something like that, a very catchy kind of slogan. Congress does not know whether to own up, the events that led to demolition of mosque and construction of temple.
So the Congress doesn't know whether to be embarrassed about the locks opening or take credit for it.
So, and Rahul Gandhi
it doesn't matter, Rashid. After yesterday, the moment clearly belongs to the BJP. The Mandir movement belongs entirely to the BJP. I don't think the Congress can claim any part of it in popular imagination today.
Absolutely, but because of their own doing, because they're not listening to their own cadre, they're not listening to their own rank and file. You saw that picture, and who was singing that Ram Dhun? I mean, is he part of Congress party officially? Mr. Yogendra Yadav in like previous program also had said that a lot of political discards are become Rahul Gandhi's advisor, and that's a real pity because Rahul Gandhi is not representing the Congress party, because the Congress aspirations and their political views at variance. Rahul Gandhi should be in, as you said in the beginning of the program, there are just less than 2 months are left for general elections. He should be doing, campaigning, not doing this political correctness in the Northeast, because we know politics of Northeast. It is very difficult to win seats. First of all, there are very few seats and very difficult to, get seats. Rahul Gandhi did get a lot of response in Manipur, so was in Mizoram, but we saw how many seats Congress got in Mizoram. So this is a stark reality. If Congress had put half an effort on the part of Rahul Gandhi in, let's say, in Andhra Pradesh, in Andhra, perhaps the Congress would be in a better position to get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Lok Sabha seats from there. The biggest problem, I agree with Vineet, that there is no role for Rahul Gandhi. He thinks that he is a leader at large. In old English, leader at large, of course, meant something very different. But what I'm saying is, he is not a stakeholder. And Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge is becoming increasingly like a munshi. You see, he is always for every decision.
What do you mean? What do you mean by like a munshi? Please explain that.
Because for every decision, look, it's very crucial moment for the Congress and opposition. For every decision, he looks at Rahul Gandhi for alliance talk, seat adjustment, role for Priyanka Gandhi, work allocation in the AICC secretariat.
By the way, here are the images. I'm so sorry. When you mentioned Yogendra Yadav singing the Ram Dhun, I had to pull out those images, and we have them. When you saw these images, and I want Sandeep also to comment on this, what did you think, Rashid?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it is not Congress. If Congress is doing some kind of, social or that kind of activities, the left liberal agenda, it is fine. But the job of a political party is to win election, not to be politically correct all the time. And this is a real problem with Rahul Gandhi. He has to define his role. He has to have an ideology, as I said, Ayodhya doctrine, some kind of thing in place, what it intends to do with majority community, because Mr. Modi, unfortunately, whichever way you look at it, has made it as a big thing. Majoritarianism is a reality.
So you made 3 comments, Rashid, and I'll take them to Sandeep before I go back to Sanjay and to Vineet. You said there's no defined role for Rahul Gandhi in the Congress. There is no Congress doctrine. Nobody knows actually what is this Congress doctrine. It seems to change from leader to leader. Manishankar Iyer says locks ki galti humse nahi hui. Somebody else like Kamal Nath says, "Arey locks to humne khulwaye." So where is the doctrine? And the third is what you call the discards of the Congress or the left ecosystem around Rahul Gandhi. You have quoted this image of Mr. Yogendra Yadav singing the Ram Dhun. Sandeep, you want to add your thoughts to that? Yogendra used to be a bitter critic of the Congress, by the way, but go ahead.
He wanted Congress dead.
Congress's political, not just they're confused in the political ideology, they're also confused in the communication ideology. If somebody had to speak or share the camera space with Rahul Gandhi, it could have been Gaurav Gogoi. It could have been even Jairam Ramesh doing it. And we found yesterday, first Yogendra Yadav was giving sound bites to media saying that he was not allowed to go. And then you do this. Yogendra Yadav is also building his image by doing so. So who are you? So I had said yesterday when you gave the Sukhu example, or somebody else was talking about Dipender Hooda, or for that matter, you mentioned just now Kamal Nath. Congress is divided between 2 sets of people. one who fight and win elections, or at least fight elections. They have one sort of thinking. That's why Suku lighted up his house, gave a full day holiday. And there are these people who never have fought elections or will never fight elections. They are the people who are advising Rahul Gandhi. And even there is no consistency of message. In Himachal Pradesh, you're cursing Adani for buying up apples. And here you're saying, why don't people, why is no supply chain for pineapple to go? So Reliance tomorrow goes there.
And Revanth Reddy's two photographs at least with the Adani empire. So that is also another contradiction. Great question. Sanjay Jha, Vineet Goenka, let's bring you in. Sanjay Jha, to you first. You started by saying there's an ideological clarity. That's what distinguishes the Congress. Several examples have been cited by both Rashid and Sandeep, and also, of course, by Vineet. But on this inconsistency, whether it is Himachal Pradesh and Sukhu, whether it is on Gautam Adani and Revanth Reddy, whether it is a Yogendra Yadav sitting there doing the Ramdhun, who is the Congress? And then today, for Rahul Gandhi to claim, as he just has, India bloc is 60% vote. Boss, we're in a Westminster parliamentary system. Till we are in that parliamentary system, this overall percentage of vote makes absolutely no difference. The UPA was on par on 28% vote.
Barkha, once half a second intervention. Today, half a second. While we are speaking, Nitish Kumar is meeting the governor of Bihar. We don't know
raising all kinds of speculation. No one can guess what Nitish Kumar might do next. He once famously told me in an old interview, "Kal ka kisne dekha hai?" I never thought those words would come to define him in the way that they have. Sanjay Jha, go ahead. Sanjay Jha.
Barkha, I'll answer your question, and a lot of points made by the others, and I will try and respond to them very quickly. Number one, I want to disappoint Mr. Ghosh. He quoted about my predicting that the Congress and the alliance will do well in 14 and 19 and form a government. I continue to be an eternal sanguine optimist. And I'm going to tell you, Mr. Ghosh, you can, believe me, you don't have to believe me, that's your call. I'm indifferent to what you think. I think in 2024, we are still headed for a surprise, and I will stick by that prognostication. Number two, Rashid Kudwai, he's obviously an analyst I respect a lot. I find this new tendency amongst a lot of people to, kind of condemn or, talk in a very disparaging way about the left liberal. Well, I want to tell Rashid, in a country where 57% of the population is getting free food grains for survival, and where 238 million people are living in extreme poverty, I don't think there is anything wrong. In fact, I would say the country needs to be a lot more left and a lot more liberal. So I think you need to get your economics right.
But aren't you mixing up welfareism of the state?
I'm answering all your questions, Barkha.
With a kind of deracinated liberal of the kind that was once called the Khan Market gang, except Khan Market today is bathed in saffron. So I don't know if the Khan Market gang has taken a right turn, or Khan Market has at least. But Sanjay, go ahead.
Well, Barkha, let me surprise you. I think when Narendra Modi talked about the Khan Market gang, he even had you in mind. But let me come to the third point.
I'm not surprised. I am saying that I said actually the deracinated liberal is a label that may have been used for people like me. Rightly, wrongly is not the point. I'm not the subject of this debate, thankfully. I am just saying, on behalf of Rashid, though Rashid can speak for himself, that welfareism is a policy. I actually think there's not too much difference in the economic policy as followed by a Congress-led government or a BJP-led government. The state is needed in a country like India. That is not the kind of left liberal Rashid was talking about, is all I was saying. But go ahead.
Okay. I can probably talk to him on that offline. The third point is what you made was very pertinent. You said it yourself. And I think that's, in my opinion, the import of this program. You mentioned earlier in the show that yesterday's program was about Modi. And that, I believe, every God-fearing, everyone who's a true believer in Hinduism should worry about. When the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, on the day of the consecration of Bhagwan Ram, is actually trying to be parallel or even overwhelm or overshadow him. That tells you exactly why a lot of us believe that this is becoming into nothing but an electoral playbook of the BJP, and which in a great number of ways challenges a true believer in Hinduism. Point number 4, Rashid talked about, Rahul Gandhi is wasting his time in the campaigning. I'm sorry, Rashid, you're a veteran commentator, but I can tell you this for a fact. If you don't see that behind this ideological campaign, yes, it doesn't have to be articulated by him, But I will tell you this is a political campaign too. You don't in India. I'm coming here as an analyst, but I'm also doing a political campaign. So is Mr. Goenka. So is the neutral, supposedly analyst, Mr. Ghosh. We are all doing a political campaign. Let's not try and, we are not born yesterday. We know that. Rahul Gandhi, in fact, in my opinion, is right the first in the political campaign. You can't ignore him any day anymore. He's on the media every day. And I can tell you this for a fact. I have friends all over the country at the ground level, which in the studio some people may miss. Barkha is one of the best editors I've ever seen. Barkha, you will know it. At the ground level, the connect that politicians make when they travel is enormous. My last point is this. You talked about, Sukhu in Himachal and other Congress people making a different sound, like I think Mr. Madhwadia in Gujarat, etc. The simple truth, Barkha, is this. I believe it, and I think everyone in the Congress and every true Hindu should believe that you have this fundamental right to go when you want to. 22nd, as you know, Bollywood actors, certain favorites of the BJP sweeping the floor, etc. I mean, let's go beyond that, please. I think anybody and everybody will go whenever they have to, and nobody needs a certificate from Modi, Shah, or the UP chief minister or anybody to prove that you're a Hindu.
Let's pick up one of your central arguments and take that to Vineet Goenka. But before I do that, I should have an update on what's happening in Assam. The Assam chief minister has accused just moments ago in a tweet of saying that Rahul Gandhi has instigated violence against the police. He has said, "Praman सामने आ रहे हैं कि किस प्रकार से राहुल गांधी और जितेंद्र सिंह ने भीड़ को असम पुलिस के जवानों को मारने के लिए भड़काया। हमारे जवानों जनता के सेवक हैं, किसी शाही परिवार के नहीं." Meanwhile, images are also coming out that show those clashes, the barricades that are being put up. We'll play those images in a moment. Now, Vineet, that was to contextualize what's happening in Assam right now, moments ago. But I think Sanjay Jha makes a central point. If you accuse the Congress of politicizing religion, the BJP will, of course, be stand accused of the same. And frankly, I think the voter is too smart. The voter knows that religion is a key part of our politics. There is no voter who doesn't understand that, and all parties play their politics in different ways. So we cannot separate the politics from the Ram Janmabhoomi movement. It is the movement on the back of which, when I was not even a reporter yet, the BJP went from 8 to 89 seats. आप politics को separate कर ही नहीं सकते. और क्या खराबी है? Let us accept honestly in this conversation that politics and religion are intertwined in our country. Go ahead, Vineet.
So, as I said, Rahul Gandhi is a confused juvenile dynast who is confused, who is not knowing what to do. And he does not have stand on both the things, neither on Matrushakti nor on Mandir. Now, if you see Bharatiya Janata Party, it is clear on both the things. What does Modi do for Matrushakti? So, he has given the more than 10 crore plus gas connections. He has given more than 10 crore toilets. He has given LEDs. He has provided for Ujjwala Yojana. So that gives respect, pride, and also some kind of relief to the Matrushakti, the weaker section, the section which was always overlooked by Congress. On the other side, Bharatiya Janata Party, when it was Bharatiya Janata Party, and also before that, when it was Janasangh, was clear on the Mandir issue. What is their stand on the Mandir? There is no change in the stand from the Janasangh days. But whereas Congress flip-flop, sometimes they say Mandir is not necessary, sometimes they say they have opened the door, rightly said by Rashid Bhai, stand to clear karna padega. So Mandir and Matrushakti both are against Congress. And on the third part, I think Rahul Gandhi should have respected the law in Assam. When they have been asked to change the route, they should have done that by breaking the barricades and seeing this, what is going on there. He looks like a local thug. It does not suit the stature of a person whose father was Prime Minister of this country, whose grandmother was Prime Minister of the country, whose great-grandfather was Prime Minister of the country. He thinks that becoming a senior leader in Congress is his entitlement. He will not work for that. He would just grab that because he is a dynast. So I think his people around him should advise him in a better context. And taking these advisors like Yogendra Yadav, it makes life easier for Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay, I'll bring in Rashid and then we'll take last comments from the others. Rashid, you're wanting to respond to Sanjay Jha.
Barkha, on a limited point on that, you see, the Congress is not owning up even the economic reforms that it initiated. It should be given, it should have got the full credit. It is against, private media houses, it is against private enterprise, it is targeting industrial houses without having much of the say, in the sense that they are not listening to their own cadre. Job of a political party is to come up with formulations that find some kind of traction among voters. I'm not sure. I have not seen Barkha for a long period that the Congress held a AICC session on Ayodhya. And here people, what their own cadre thinks. They may come up with a better solution even now, how to address this thing. It is always imposed by few people, and the few people keep changing. As we see today, the other day I saw on television, there was something on Congress party program, and I saw Sudhendra Kulkarni and Yogendra Yadav, are talking about, what should Congress be doing. So I have nothing against these individuals, these worthies, but point is that they don't represent Congress in a traditional sense. And this is what, but Rahul Gandhi is not at all, concerned about it. And that is where I see that Mr. Kharge, he is very senior and he has a lot of experience. Even he's not been brought in picture to, have his views, because if he speaks, perhaps that will be better than what Mr. Yogendra Yadav is saying. It is nothing personal. It is just Congress party is going like, the old time that Dadabhai Nauroji had said about the British, that, it's the un-British way of, governing, managing India. Similarly, Congress is not running as per its own ideology,
its
and
own history and its own ethos. Okay.
And that is unfortunate.
Very quickly, Sanjay, and then I'll give the last word to Sandeep. Last comments. By the way, Himanta Biswa, I didn't read the last line of his tweet, which just pointed out to me. If we can bring that up. Kanun ke haath lambe hote hain, aap tak pahunchenge. So we are actually seeing the Assam Chief Minister accusing Mr. Gandhi not just of instigating the Jawans of the Assam police, but if read one way, the question will arise, could Mr. Gandhi be arrested in Assam? I don't think it will go that far, but I've often been wrong. Who knows? Nothing is impossible in politics. Sanjay Jha, your last thoughts?
Yeah. Barkha, I always, tend to have my own independent thought. My personal belief is that, the euphoria that one has been witnessing, the BJP's attempt to try and actually politicize what ought to have been a very sacred, a very pious event into a political project might actually even boomerang. India is a very diverse country. It's a big country. I know for a fact, and I can tell you that I have friends down in, many parts of the southern part of India who also celebrated, but they are not, kind of getting carried away by the kind of hype and the hoopla that the BJP is creating. So there is an India beyond Uttar Pradesh. There is an India beyond the Hindi heartland. Yes, that is an important, crucial play in the elections. But I can tell you, a religious, devout Indian will ask himself just two questions. Why did the Shankaracharya say that the Sanatan Dharma is actually not being followed? The Shastras का उल्लंघन हो रहा है, वो तो हमारे शंकराचार्य ने कहा है. और दूसरी बात, कल के उत्सव के माहौल में जब हमारे प्रधानमंत्री राम लल्ला से भी ज्यादा बड़े हो गए हैं, तो मैं समझता हूं कि किसी को, हर लोग को बहुत चिंता होगा कि भैया धर्म अच्छी बात है, मजहब अच्छी बात है, लेकिन उसके साथ सियासत करना, उसके साथ एक तरीके से राजनीति करना, क्या वो उचित है?
विनीत जी, मैं संदीप जी को आखिरी कमेंट देना चाह रही थी, लेकिन आपको 20 सेकंड का इंटरजेक्शन दे रही हूँ, बताइए.
See, Sanjay, don't try to create this south and the north divide. Rather,
I'm
after
not creating any divide. Hello, I didn't make anything divisive there. I just told you that India is a diverse country. Northeast will think different. South will think different. Jammu Kashmir will think different. Punjab will think different. In Maharashtra, it is a very different ballgame. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Vineet ji, last thoughts. Vineet ji.
Yeah. So, rather in the south, there is a discussion which is going to happen and which is happening now is the state government's policies against Hindu temples, the entombments and the enforcement of state government interventions in those temples, and the funds of the temples been used for some other purpose. So that debate is coming up, and they are all looking at for Bharatiya Janata Party to intervene and correct the wrong which has been happening for the last decades. So thank you, Sanjay ji, for winding this up. I'll make sure that it passes to the Karyakartas of Tamil Nadu, who will raise this voice of temples been misused by the state governments.
Okay, Sandeep Ghosh, my last question to you is this: as the drama plays out in Assam, where does the BJP's politics, in a sense, go from here? Right now, they're they're ideology centric, but they're very Modi centric, and in many ways, yesterday has been the climax of a decades long battle. The BJP calls it a 500-year battle. I'm saying as a student of politics, if I were to frame it in political terms, it's ever since L.K. Advani took out the Rath Yatra. Now, my question is, where does the BJP go from here? Politics has pivoted. I have no doubt about the fact that politics has shifted conclusively yesterday. But for the BJP itself, it will have to define where it goes from here.
Barkha, since you asked specifically, you just notice what BJP has done. I totally agree with you that you cannot separate politics and religion in this country, and there is no denying that Ram Mandir movement was as much of a religious movement as its political movement. But just see how Modi has pivoted it yesterday from being just a religious event, his speech, to make it, everybody is today talking about that's a civilizational movement. He has taken it above religion. So you have today even a Mohan Bhagwat talking about, Josh mein, you need to be
Josh mein hosh bhi rakhiye.
Hosh bhi rakhna chahiye. So they are moving it, ratcheting up to a different level. Just like, people might say Rahul Gandhi is not wasting his time in the Northeast. People might say even Modi was wasting his time in the South visiting so many temples. But there was a very, very clear agenda. And it's not that they're expecting the return tomorrow, to get the huge bump in seats. And while that is happening, what the Carter and other people are doing, they're keeping the opposition engaged in this kind of, fisticuffs. So here is Rahul Gandhi, there in Tamil Nadu, because of the banning of those telecasts. So these are the pockets they are creating. And while Modi is being lifted to a different level and stature, these people are being diminished. So if Sanjay says, yesterday Modi became bigger than Shankaracharya, today by doing this, they make Himanta Biswa Sarma also bigger than probably Modi in the eyes of Assamese people. So there is a huge contradiction. And one last point, Barkha, I wanted to make about the politics or the business of this whole yatra. Congress's inconsistency. They say they're strapped of funds. They want, crowdsourcing of funds. Do you think these yatras happen free of cost? How much money is spent behind them and who pays for that money? It's the local units, the politicians, everybody mobilizes funds. Now you're making them pay that today, and tomorrow you will ask those people to go and fight elections. Isn't there a contradiction in that? You're frittering away energy and resources where if assume he wins all the seats in Manipur 2, Mizoram 2, Meghalaya 2, 6 seats you get for creating this kind of a hype. Because
I think one thing I think those are good questions, that are the state units of the Congress being put under pressure. I saw Rashid agreeing, Sanjay laughing in disagreement, but let's close this here because this will carry on, otherwise we'll never stop. Let's say thank you for now. We'll have another day. There'll be a lot to talk about in the next 2 or 3 months. Thank you, Vineet ji, to Sanjay ji, to Sandeep ji, and to Rashid bhai. Thank you so much, and to our audience, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Mojo Story has always made a commitment to its viewers to go to where the story is. And as you can see here, we are at the epicenter of the Israel war on Gaza. We are right at the front line, about 1 mile from the Gaza Strip, as the Israeli military gets ready with its tanks and its gunners to begin its final frontal assault that will take troops into Gaza. As we said, we are not like other organizations. We believe in giving you all sides of the story objectively and as much as possible from the ground. And that's exactly what we're doing here, covering the biggest global story today from the epicenter of the war zone. So please, we need your support. Support us, become a Mojo member, subscribe to us, spread the word, and thank you for your support.